Good morning and welcome back. Now, as you can see, we are in an empty kitchen. I started ripping this one out yesterday, and the basis of this video, as you can tell by the title and thumbnail, we're going to be putting it all back in. Now, like I said, I ripped out the kitchen yesterday, and then I went through yesterday afternoon and pre-built. You can see a couple of the units off to the side of me here. I just got all the flat pack units back together. The old kitchen come out really easily, actually. The tiles basically fell off the wall, which was quite nice because we're going to be having splashbacks going all in between the units. So it's nice that we managed to get all of that out the way. But yeah, like I said, I started yesterday ripping out, pre-building the units. The floor is currently still down. It's only a lino flooring purely because it's easier to sweep up on this. It's cleaner than on the concrete slab that's underneath it. That will be coming up later on in the video, so you might see me cutting bits out where I'm fitting units and bits and pieces. We have got freestanding appliances going in here, not integrated. So yeah, you might see gaps as I'm going along, so that just explains them. But anyway, I'm going to stop waffling. Let's get fitting a kitchen and I'll take you through and explain any problems or anything or reasons why I'm doing stuff. I will talk to you lot about as we go on. Let's do this.
Okay, so here I am getting the first unit in place. Now we are spending a bit of time here just to make sure that everything lines up properly and is as level as possible, just so that when we do our cutouts for our plumbing, we know we're going to get nice tight cutouts around our plumbing pipes. The last thing we want to do now is have massive great big holes cut out of the units for no point at all. Now you can see we haven't got a back on this unit yet, and that is on purpose. It just makes life a lot easier when you've got existing plumbing in place. And then what I will do is I'll come along later and put a back in or in front or an upstand in there or something, just to make sure that stuff doesn't get all pushed down the back of the unit. Getting this all fixed to the wall just with the traditional angle brackets. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. This works absolutely fine, so don't change it. Doing a nice big relief cut. Now we are moving over to the other side of the kitchen, which isn't general practice, but because we've got freestanding units here, it just made sense to do it this way. Get this unit set in place because we've got them fixed corner posts. It just means that we've got a bit more adjustment when it comes to the freestanding appliances. So oven housing going in here, yet again no back on this. They don't come with a back because you need the space at the back to get the ovens in and get these two units all fixed together. Now 3 screws going in here, you don't need more than that just to get these all fixed in place.
Okay, so I have got all the base units in now. I think this was the last base unit you see me put in. I've gone ahead and put this larder unit in. I did it off camera just because we're quite tight on space. This is like as far away as I can get the camera, so trying to film putting a big unit like this together was not going too well. So we're going to start on our wall units, but before we do that, we've got a decor end panel to go in between these two units here. So I need to get that one in. I need to establish, I think I've got a modern cornice on here, so I need to figure that out. So we need to allow, it might be a 30mm one. I haven't actually checked yet. So if it's 31, I like to, if it's a 30mm one, I like to leave like 31mm just to give it a little step up. So yeah, that can go in, then we can start getting these wall units round. So overall, going really well. It's 12 o'clock at the moment. I didn't get here till 8:30, got myself all set up and that. So I think we're doing really well. So yeah, I'm going to stop waffling. I'm going to go out to the garage, get the decor end panel out, get that on, and then we can start getting wall units on. Let's do this.
Okay, so here I am cutting our tool decor panel down to the right height. It was a 30mm pelmet that we had going on this, so I left 31.5mm in the end. And I don't like to sit these on the floor when they break up runner units like this, because I like to have a continuous plinth running right the way through. Now the panel going on the right hand side of that unit will be right the way down to the floor, just because it looks nice and neat and finished like that. So going on with the wall units, nice and simple here. Just adjusting up, and then we're going to be putting in this really weird corner unit. I hate these things. I don't know why they do it. I will go into more detail in my next rant that's coming up now. But yeah, just getting that in the same vein as we've just done before.
Okay, so that is all the wall units all in, all the base units are in. So that wasn't too bad. I have just spent about an hour having a good tidy up, getting everything into the skip and that. So yeah, we're on about 2:30 now. I'm going to work till 3:30 today because I've got to get and look at a couple of jobs. But what I want to start with next is I want to get some of these decor end panels on because that's really going to push us forward a little bit more. So yeah, we've got decor end panel here, here. Got a filler strip going over in the corner there. I don't know if you can see that. And then likewise on the base units, because we've got freestanding appliances, we've got a decor end panel there, and one going on this end here that you can't see. Now, little gripe. Let me bring you closer, hang on. Just with these kitchen designers, like, why have we supplied a corner unit for this? Like, let's cut half of it out. What was the point in that? We still get a decent usable space, but we could have just done 2 units. Do you know what I mean? It would have made more sense to just do 2 separate units, and then I wouldn't have had to muck about cutting that corner out, boxing all of this in, you know. Doesn't make any sense. That's my own little gripe anyway. But yeah, so getting on to that point, I've got to make good of that. I've got to box that all in. Like I said, we've got splashback boards going on these walls anyway, so that's going to cover all of this up. I might use the same stuff for in there, I'm not too sure yet. I'll see what material I have by the end of the job. Might mean we have to buy something, but hopefully not. So yeah, like I said, let's get some decor end panels on.
Okay, so decor end panels going on here. Like I just said, you will notice, or you'll notice more on this one, that I've got an 18mm gap at the top, and that's because we're going to be doing a flyover shelf on this. Now, the reason for the flyover shelf is just because I think it looks a lot nicer when you've got like a canopy hood going in. It just finishes it off. It lets that coolness run right the way through, and just means that you don't have a big break in the middle of your units, which I really don't like. So yeah, getting that all cut in place now. Now this will have to be cut out when our canopy hood goes in afterwards, but that comes later down the line. So getting our floor decor end panels, or base decor end panels in, I should say. And what we do with that is I like to leave a 21mm overhang on that. So here's our corner filler, just a bit of miter bond to hold it in place, and then a couple of pocket hole screws in the back, and that's not going anywhere. Yet again, 20mm overhang with that, with an 18mm door unit, or a 19mm door, sorry, I should say. And then we can start getting our cornice and pelmet on. So this is obviously the pelmet underneath. Now we're not going to be doing fixings inside the units, just because it's a lot neater to be fixing up from underneath.
Right, so that is all the decor panels on, fillers on, bits and pieces like that. I've got the cornice and pelmet on here that you can see. Now it is actually the next day. I've been here for a few hours this morning. It's 11 o'clock now, and I just cracked on with getting these on just to push the job along a little bit. But what I want to do next, and I wanted to talk to you a lot about why I do this next, is I want to get some colour match rails going above these appliances. Because they're freestanding, I just think it looks nice to have that colour match border going around. There'll only be 100 or so mil wide. I just think it looks nice. So I'm going to get that in, and it gives this panel a bit of support on the end here that you can't see. Well, I'll show you in a minute. Just gives it a little bit of support. So we're going to do that. And then I think we'll turn our attention. I want to get all the shelves indoors on, everything, so everything's unboxed and everything's in place. Then we can turn our attention to getting the worktops on. I have got 2 larder housings that are going to go to the right of you. Is that right? Yeah, to the right of you over there. But I'm going to do them last because I've got all the appliances and everything sitting behind you at the moment. So I'll get all of this side finished, and then maybe tomorrow or the day after, I've just got that to address over there. So let's get going. Stop talking about it and get cracking.
Okay, so here's them stretcher pieces that I was just talking about going in. Nice and simply, just pocket hold in there, pocket hold from the top, so obviously when the worktop goes on, you don't see any fixings. The only thing I'd say here is just make sure you've got enough height on your freestanding appliances. I had about 20 mil to play with, so absolutely fine to be getting that in. And yeah, just make sure that you're not cutting up a panel that you need as well to make that. So yeah, getting the doors on now, and I like to put the back plates on the hinges first. I just find it a lot easier to do it that way if you can. Sometimes on pre-built units, the hinge plates are already attached to the cabinet, so it is just a case of clipping them on. But because this being a flat pack unit, we don't have that luxury. So yeah, doing it this way. So appliances going in now. Now you can see they are older appliances. The customer did say about whether she should buy new appliances or not. And I just said, what's really, you've got these appliances, they're working. You might as well see them out, let them die, and then replace them as and when you need it. There's no point really. You know, once they're in, they look clean enough.
Right, so you've just seen me put these appliances in. They've gone in really well. They're not wired in yet. Well, sorry, tell a lie. This is obviously plugged in. The washing machine's plugged in. The oven needs wiring in, so that's not gone in yet. I do have an extractor to go in, but I'm going to do that at a later date because that needs coring out and everything, and it's going to get very dusty in here. I don't want to get my camera all covered in dust, so I probably won't show that. The fridge freezer has gone in. That's gone in very nicely. Nothing to write home about there. That went in really well. But I think next what we need to do is start getting some worktops on. So, because that's like my next biggest job. I have still got the 2 units to do over there, but they're going to wait till later. There's currently a fridge freezer in the way anyway, so I need to get that out the way and then I can build them. It's not a major job. I'll probably do a cutaway at the end of the job to show you that. So let's get these worktops on.
Okay, so here we are just cutting our first section of worktop to length, or over length I should say at this. I like to leave them a little bit over, just in case you make a mistake on the mason's mitre when they go on. At least you've got yourself a little bit of tolerance to move along. So yeah, I was probably about 100 mil longer than I needed there. If you do want to see a more detailed video, obviously this is not a tutorial, this is just like a build along. If you want to see a tutorial on how to do worktops, I will link to my playlist on kitchen worktops up in the top right hand corner, and there's probably about 10 videos in there on different types of worktops and problems you may face and all sorts. Luckily these worktops weren't too heavy, so I managed to lift these ones about on my own. But it was fun getting in this cupboard, I'm not gonna lie. With all the plumbing and all that in there, that is only a 450 door on that unit, or it might have been a 500, I'm not sure. I am not the skinniest bloke in the world, so it was quite a tight squeeze getting in there. Now fortunately, when we do the second joint on the other side of the worktop that's coming up now, I managed to take all the drawers out from underneath the unit there, so it gave me plenty of room to get this one in, as you can see. Now you might be wondering why them worktops aren't lined up on the top. I like to get my bolts nearly done up, not right away done up, so it just means that when you tap these in place and get them flush, that they're not bouncing all over the place. You can actually tap it in the right place. Now some people do like to put biscuits in, I do as well. Sometimes I use dominoes. I just found it particularly hard on these worktops just because they're between sections.
Okay, so that's that sink fitted up nicely. All the worktops are on nicely, obviously not siliconed up yet because I've got to do splashbacks, which I'm going to do next. I'm not going to mount this sink and fit this sink or this hob until I've done all the splashbacks. 2 reasons. One, the tap can get in the way when you're trying to fit these up, so I like to leave this loose, do that, then do this. And 2, with the hob, it's a glass top hob, and especially when you're working above it and all that, there's too many risks involved in breaking them, so I leave the hob out until last thing, clean all up, clean down, pop the hob in, and then we're finished. So yeah, like I said, we're going to do splashbacks. They're alu splashbacks, I think they're called. We're going to get them on, get them going, get them round. We've got a few cutouts to do and that, so yeah, let's get on with them.
And here we go, going on with these splashbacks. Now we're just using simple silicone for this. They're no low bearing or anything like that, and to be honest, I've tried taking these splashbacks off after they've had silicone on for a little while, and they are nigh on impossible to get off. So yeah, silicone, there's no point wasting money on stronger sealants for this. Silicone does the job absolutely perfect. And here you go, you can see me covering up that soil stack now, and really happy with the finish on this. It's not an exact match for the worktops, but it's as close as we could get, and I really think that they match up quite well, to be honest. And it's nice and simple to get together and quick. So really on the home straight now, we've got our handles going on. Just a nice, simple, classy handle going on here. Nothing too extravagant. Just nice, clean, sleek lines to match up with the kitchen. And that's all the wall units once done, and now onto the base units. I didn't bother showing all of them because you don't need to see me put 25 handles on. And here we go. Now we can actually put our hob in, because we've done everything we need to do.
Okay, and there we have it. That is this job all done. Now, I know I can't show you the whole kitchen in this angle because you're right as far back to the wall as you can go. So I'll do some pan around shots now. You haven't even seen what I've built behind you over there, so I'll put some in there, and I'll put a before picture in as well, because I didn't start this video by actually showing you what it looked like before. So here's a before picture, so you can see that. I've still got some things to do in this kitchen. I've got to do like a window board on here. This splashback needs to carry around, but obviously I need that window board in before that. Off camera, I cored a hole out in the top corner up there and got this extractor all fitted, so that went in well. But yeah, on a whole, I think that come out really well. Quite a nice kitchen if I get out of the way. Customer's really happy with it, which is always a bonus, and I'm really happy with it as well. Actually, the transformation from what it was before is amazing. So if you want to find out how much I charged for this job, there'll be a video for the members going out at the same time or just after this one. There's a join button right next to the like button. If you hit that, then you'll find all the videos for pricings and bits and pieces and bonus content, all sorts going on over there. So go and check that out. But I'm going to leave it there. If you've got anything from this video at all, hit that like button for me, because it really helps me out. 80% of the people that watch my videos are not subscribed, so if you could subscribe for me, that massively helps me. Like, you wouldn't believe how much that helps me, and it's completely free for you. All you got to do is hit one button, that's it, and that really helps me along. So yeah, do that for me. And my phone's ringing. I think it's another customer, so I will speak to you guys on the next one. Take care. Cheers.